top of the GDP growth, employment, and tax revenues. This is why Jamaica Business Development Corporation wants to help them to digitalize key operational processes in order to compete in a digitalized global environment. We'll tell you how during the 9:45 a.m. segment of the show. 500 MSMEs to modernize at least one core internal business process under the EU-funded Digital Jamaica project.
Okay, so the project is really for 3 years, and this is our final year, and it's our final push. Last year we were pushing for training, and this year we're still pushing for training, but we also are trying to target 500 MSMEs to assist them in digitizing one of their processes. So that process can be a finance process, a HR process, IT process, a marketing process. It can be production. It can be anything.
Right.
But what our real aim is to do is to help them to utilize tools that are there to support their organizations and their businesses, and use those tools effectively to minimize some of the manual input and the manual labor that we know takes up a lot for MSMEs, because a lot of their businesses, they're the head cook and bottle washers. So as much as we possibly can, we want to utilize digital tools to assist in those areas.
Okay, so tell us about the how. How will you do that?
So the how. So we've been training MSMEs. We have trained over 1,200 MSMEs so far.
Okay.
And what we do, we train them in 3 stages. So digitization, digitalization, and digital transformation. So our target for digital transformation is to train 270 MSMEs. So of the 500 MSMEs to receive the tools, those MSMEs who would have walked through the process and got to that final stage will receive assistance. So the how is that it is at no cost to the MSME. There is a cost, but there's no cost to them. And what we will do is that there's an assessment that we allow them to do. That assessment is a digital assessment that was we were assisted with by the JCDA to develop that assessment. It's a globally recognized tool, and what it does is that it looks at the organization or the business structure, and it looks at how can digital tools be used in anywhere. So it looks at your financial process, your HR process, your governance process. And what it does is that it looks at gaps and it identifies those gaps. So once we have identified those gaps, then that is how we identify what is the particular assistance that MSME needs. So we're not doing a one-size-fits-all.
Correct.
We're literally doing individualized assessments to really target that personalized MSME's business, and that is how we identify what process that we can look at. Now, we cannot do everything. We cannot. JBDC, though we are great, we cannot do everything. So there is one thing that we will look at. There's one process that we will look at, even though we're assessing the entire business. So we give the MSME the knowledge to say, this is what your entire business looks like, and this is how it can be digitally transformed. But we are looking at one particular process, and we target that process, and we have experts on board that will analyze what it is that your process needs, and we will provide you with a solution that will assist that. And it can be something big, meaning a CRM tool, ERP tool, or it can be something very simple, like we realize that your social media isn't getting any traction.
Okay.
And how do we digitize that process to have you posting without your manual input, just a scheduled post, something simple like that can really help to transform your business.
Okay, so would it be therefore fair to conclude that you send your experts to visit these businesses to do the assessments?
Well, no, the assessment is done virtually. So the assessment is a digital survey that is done.
Okay.
Then we assess the responses that you provide to us. When the experts come in, that they may or may not visit your establishment if you are a physically established business. When that happens is when we have selected what it is that you need, and you have agreed, because you have to agree to us providing you with that solution. So once you have agreed, then when the consultant is working with you, if you are assigned a consultant, when that consultant is working with you, then if there is a need to visit you to see what it is that your process looks like, then that will happen.
Okay. Now, you said you have done some 1,200 already, and you plan to do another 500 this year, but your overall target is 2,700.
So we plan to train. We
Okay.
plan to train 2,700, but for the tool itself, for providing you with a tool, that is 500 persons, 500 MSMEs.
Okay. So tell us about the 2,700. How will you do that process?
So the 2,700, as I said, we already have trained
1,200 of
1,200.
two, yeah, right.
So we have the rest to train. Now, persons can, so the training that we provide, EU has offered, and through the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce has really provided us with the opportunity to do this free of cost. So the MSMEs don't have a cost to incur. We provide the venue, we provide you with lunch, we provide you with all the tools that you need to actually learn. So all they need to do is go to www.jbdc.net/Digital Jamaica and register for the training program. The training program consists of 3 tiers: digitization, digitalization, and digital transformation.
What would you say has been the response from members of the sector so far to this training?
We've had very good feedback. I think it's excellent, the need that is there, and we're able to fill that need. But I think what warms our hearts and really gives us the strength to really push to such a humongous target is that when MSMEs actually participate, we actually see impact.
Okay.
So it's good to just train, but it's even better when you are seeing MSMEs taking what they learn in the sessions and actually applying it. We're seeing MSMEs actually building websites, implementing tools like Zoho Books, like QuickBooks and things like that. So just the mere fact that they're actually taking what they learn when they come to the sessions and implementing it in their businesses is really what we measure as the feedback, because that's the real impact.
Right. Okay. When is the next session slated for?
So we have sessions every week.
Okay.
We have multiple sessions every week, and we are literally all across the island. For the specific dates as they come, they can visit the website. The dates are there. And once they register, they will know which parishes that we're coming to. But our next session, we have a session this week, Wednesday and Thursday. And it is in Kingston, and we're covering Kingston and St. Thomas. And then next week we go to Clarendon, and next week we go to Clarendon and St. Catherine, and then the following week we continue to go across the island. So we've been all across the island, all 14 parishes, and we just continue to go back to meet the needs that are there in each parish.
Okay. In terms of parish, what would you say in terms of the parishes that are showing the most interest? If you did
The
that
parishes?
assessment? Yeah, that.
Well, it's not a matter of showing the most interest. We look at it to say that in certain parishes, the population of MSMEs are greater.
Right.
So it will appear that those parishes are showing more interest. But when
What
we
are
go,
those? Yes.
those parishes, Kingston, St. Catherine, when we even go all the way to Westmoreland, we get a lot of interest from persons in Westmoreland. We get a lot of interest from persons in St. Elizabeth. So it depends on the population of MSMEs in that particular parish. But I think that all the parishes, and that is why we keep going back to every parish, really, because all parishes really do have an interest. The MSMEs are actually coming out, and we applaud them for that, because it's taking 2 full days out of your business to really come and learn. But it's an investment in you. It's an investment in your business, and we encourage it.
Okay.
So it's just register and show up.
Okay. So based on these responses, are you convinced that the members of the sector are really interested in digitalizing and expanding their businesses to compete both in the domestic and international markets?
Yes, we are. We are definitely convinced. We are convinced to the point where we're looking to see how we can even do more than what the project requires us to do. So the need is there. There are MSMEs who are knocking at our doors, trying to get us to listen